So we would like to do 9.2, number 35. And we think to ourselves,
What a wonderful world.
what the hell?
Yeah.
This is a mess? Okay. But I'm doing these, what's the like important thing to start with? Why are you raising your hand, you crazy girl? Oh, the division thing means I should flip the second half? Make it multiplication? Okay. So I've got x squared plus x minus y squared minus y over 3x squared minus 3y squared multiplied now by
7x squared y plus 7x.
cool 7x squared y plus 7x y squared over
The 5 mess.
the 5 mess, 5x plus 5y plus 5. Okay, so some of this is freaky looking, but actually helps us. Which things fall into the freaky looking, but actually are not so bad category? How about the 5 mess? Why are you calling it a 5 mess?
Oh, there's some 5.
There's-
You take the 5 out.
Yeah, there's lots of 5s, right? In fact, there's a 5 in all of it. So I can take a 5 out of it. Cool.
That was good.
Okay, so in my next line, I'm going to rewrite pieces. So the bottom of the right-hand side is going to become 5 times,
X plus y plus 1.
awesome, x plus y plus 1. Cool. Which other ones can I take something easy out of?
3
The
to 7.
I can get the 3's out of the bottom of the left. So that'll give me a 3 times,
No.
3xy times x more. No, sorry.
X squared minus y squared.
cool, 3 times x squared minus y squared. Don't do too many steps at once, right? One piece at a time. So right now I'm just doing numbers.
Right.
So what else can I get out of this guy? Yeah, so out of the 7 thing, I can get a 7 x and a y. You all see the x and the y?
Yep.
If you don't, it's not such a big deal. If you pull a 7 first, you'll probably notice the x and the y later.
Yeah, I did that.
You guys see that? It's okay if you do these in a couple of steps. I'm going to pull them because I think most of you saw it.
Right.
But if you didn't, you'd get them later. So what am I left with? X plus y? No?
Yes.
Okay, so here what I'm thinking is this is an x times a y, right? So in there, if I take one of the x's and one of the y's, I'll be left with an x. And in here, I'm thinking this is an x and 2 y's. So if I take one of the x's and one of the y's, I'll be left with a y. You guys all see that? Okay. How about this thing? Top left.
Oh, you can separate them. X squared plus x.
Yeah, we might do like factor by grouping.
Yeah.
Or we might just not see it right now. That's fine. I'm going to go with, I didn't see it right now. Yeah, and that's also okay. So don't think you have to get all of these factored to get it right. You guys see that? If you demonstrate to me that you can factor some of it and don't factor things that you can't factor, right? Like if you left this guy till the end of the problem and just didn't know what to do with it, that's okay. As long as you demonstrate to me that you don't do something wrong with it, I'm okay with you not seeing things. You guys see that? It's much worse for you to demonstrate to me that you think you can do something you can't than it is for you to just leave it alone because you don't know what to do with it. Cool? All right, so which things now can I deal with? Can I cancel anything right now, or
No.
no? Yeah, I kind of can't cancel anything right now. So what would I try next?
So factor that squares.
The x squared.
Off the 3x squared
mean this one or this one?
Bottom one.
Bottom one? You got x squared minus y squared. What do you want to do with it? Break it out because it's
Some of the
close. You had half of those words, right? Difference
difference of squares.
of squares,
Right.
right?
X plus y, x minus y.
Perfect. So we're going to say, okay, I've got x squared plus x minus y squared minus y, that thing I didn't know what to do with. And then on the bottom I've got 3, there's an x plus y times times an x minus y. Right, that's my difference of squares done out. And then I've got a times, and on the top over here I've got a 7xy, an x plus y, and on the bottom I've got a 5 times a
X plus y plus one.
x plus y plus 1, whatever the heck that thing is.
Right.
You guys cool with this? You guys see a onesie?
Yes. X plus y.
Yeah, there's an x plus y onesie, right?
Yeah.
This guy and this guy can be made to cancel, right?
Definitely.
That's multiplication by 1, so I don't need to write it. So, maybe that's the only cancel I get at this stage. So, now I'm looking at x squared plus x minus y squared minus y over 3 times x minus y times 7xy over 5 times
Plus y plus one.
x plus y plus 1. Guys cool with that? Okay, and at this point,
We have to do the top.
I have to be able to do the top, or I stop here. If I stop here, I'm not making all the points, but I'm making some of them, because I've done some things, and I haven't demonstrated that I broke math yet. You guys see that? Okay, so I want to factor this. What do we try?
You take an X and Y.
Yeah, it looks like you could kind of take an x out of this side and a y out of that side and maybe arrive at something sensible.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if this is a good idea. Maybe we'll try it. Let's see. So, if I take an x out of this piece, what am I left with?
1 plus 1, or x plus 1.
X plus 1. Out of the other piece, I might take a y, right?
Right.
So I've got a
Minus
minus y times y plus 1?
No, it's minus.
No,
plus
it's
one.
minus. Is it plus or minus? How do you check?
minus.
It's already a minus, because the negative is outside the y, right?
Uh-huh. How do you check whether it's plus or minus?
Foil it back up.
Yeah, foil it back out. Distribute that thing back through.
Right, that's right.
So if I distribute it back through, I'll get a minus y squared and a
Minus.
minus y. You guys see that? Okay. So now I've got this over 3 times x minus y times 7xy over 5 times x plus y plus 1. Uh-oh.
That's funky looking.
Ruh-roh, right?
Yeah,
You guys see it?
yeah. Nothing.
Nothing. What do you do?
Leave it.
Maybe. What's up, Kayla?
Couldn't we just do x minus y times x plus 1 times y plus 1 just put the x minus y together?
You guys see what she sees? It's not this.
Okay.
Is
She's
that-
saying, oh, this thing didn't work, right? We're all with that.
Right.
So we might try a different grouping.
Yeah.
You guys all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. If something doesn't work, right? And
Right.
really, this was just kind of a Hail Mary thing I did anyway, right?
Right.
So let me try a different grouping and see if it works. If you're trying a bunch of groupings like this, like you're not sure how to factor something, I would recommend that you not carry all this extra baggage with you, right?
Right.
So get your other handy dandy second color, a marker, whatever out. I really do recommend that you do these tests with a couple of colors or a sheet of scratch paper, right? So get your sheet of scratch paper out, and on it, what are we going to write? What am I trying to factor?
X squared.
Yeah, this x squared plus x minus y squared minus y. Okay, so I tried to group these two things and those two things before, right? So what would maybe a better idea be?
Group the X squares together.
Yeah, I could group the things that are squared together. So my x squared minus y squared
Yeah.
plus x minus y, right?
Yeah.
You guys see this? So I maybe would think this way. So I'm thinking put the squared things together and the not squared things together. Right? Because I tried put the x's together and the y's together and that didn't get me anywhere.
It's cumulative.
Right.
Yeah, so because addition's commutative, I can regroup this in a different order. And then I can grab a couple different things. That's the associative property if you care. How can I get, is there something I can factor out of this now?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
X
make it
squared
X.
is Y squared.
Yeah, the x squared minus y squared is a difference of squares, right?
Yeah.
So I can say this is a x plus y times x minus y. Oh, hey, that's super convenient, right? Why is that? Oh, hey, super convenient. Good, see it yet? What if I wrote like this? Now do you see it? What if I suggestively underlined things? Now do you see it?
Yeah.
What am I going to factor out? Factor out an x minus y. Or think to yourself about grouping like terms, right? Think about your x minus y's as your like terms. Here there's x plus y of them, and then one more came along. So all told, there's how many x minus y? Somebody fill in that blank for me. Okay, pretend that x minus y is a sheep or something.
Yeah, so that's X plus
So there's
Y plus
x plus y sheep,
X.
and then one more comes along. So how many sheep are there? X plus y plus 1.
There you go.
Um,
You lost me.
Alien.
Okay, how about this?
Oh, yeah, no, okay, I see now.
You guys see that?
That's the
So
top one, yeah.
think about this stuff in the box,
Yeah.
right, which is the same in both pieces.
Yeah.
Think about that as just being some number, right? So that number is multiplied by each piece of a two-part sum. Try this. There's some boxes here, right? There's x plus y boxes. And then there's also one more. So all told, how many boxes are there? Well, there's x plus y boxes over here, and then there's one more over there. That makes me x plus y boxes plus one more. You guys see that? Maybe these parentheses would help?
why did it become x plus y when there's two x minus y boxes?
That's.
Yeah, so why aren't there two of these?
Yeah.
So the same reason that if I had 3 times 7 plus 2 times 7, right? What would you say this is?
Bunch of baloney.
Bunch of baloney. Or it's
3,
3 plus 2 times 7, right? That's factoring. How about 7 times 3 plus 2? That's factoring a 7 out of each thing, right? That's exactly what I'm doing here, except my 7 has a really complicated form.
Jesus.
You see that? This is the hardest factoring to see that I'm aware of in your book. This one is the most subtle. Do not think that I got this one in 2 seconds without thinking. The first time the student asked me this, I got to like here, and I tried this, and I was like, well, I guess you're done there. And they said, no, the book doesn't have any x plus y plus 1s in it. So we sat down and figured it out. This is hard. Okay?
Sorry, say we got that on a test, that one.
Yeah.
But how badly would we be docked for it?
Badly.
To be honest,
Very, you get whipped.
if I gave you this question on a test, I'm trying to separate the A students from the A minus students. Right? Like, this is mean. This is harsh. So if you got this on an exam, I'd be like, yeah, you get an A. I don't care how else you did on the test. Okay? People who don't get this, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. You got most of the way there. You didn't tell me that anything was crazy. 7 points? 8 points? Cool?
Cool.
If you start canceling crap willy-nilly, right, or false canceling, that proves to me that you don't know math.
Yeah.
And then points go away, right? Cool?
So why wouldn't it end up as x plus y times x minus y squared instead of the plus 1?
In the same way that when I pull a 7 out here, I have 1 7 that's getting distributed onto these two things, right? So there'll be 2 of the box, but it really only represents multiplication by 1 of them.
Okay, I think my confusion is just where you got the plus 1.
Oh, so that's this guy.
Yeah.
So there's an x plus y, that's how many of x minus y's there are in the first term. And then there's 1 in the second term. So if I distribute this in, I'll get x minus y times x plus y, that's this guy, and then plus 1 of these. That's still sort of subtle, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess, so what you're saying is then it'd be x minus y times 1?
Yeah.
So you can put the 1 in there as a substitute for it.
Yeah, exactly. The 1's acting as a multiplicative placeholder.
Oh, okay, so it's much like if you took another xy out of the 7xy, x plus y, and they would both be 1?
Yeah, so if these had been xy's, right? Yeah, then when I factored, I maybe would be left with just 1 there, and all it is a placeholder.
Okay.
You guys okay with this? We should probably finish the problem, right? So this was my problem before, right? This was my thing I was pretty sure was wrong, or at least wasn't the right thing. And I wanted to put my blue thing in there. So I've got a x minus y times a x plus y plus 1 after all my blue factoring. Just cool with that? Okay, now what can I cancel?
X minus y, x plus y, that's all I have.
Okay, so there's an x minus y on the top and an x minus y on the bottom. Right, the red stuff is a onesie. You guys see that?
Yeah.
And then there's a x plus y plus 1 and an x plus y plus 1 on the bottom. So those will cancel. And in the end here, what are you left with?
7xy, 15.
Yeah, so on the top we've got a 7, an x, and a y. And on the bottom we've got a 15. Is cool? That's super hard. This is about as hard as the factoring problems get.